Hi everyone, I hope you had a great weekend. It's Monday and it's time for a new episode. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Sushant Reddy. Every week, I present my life lessons in sales, human psychology, and wealth creation from an entrepreneur's perspective. In episode 6 of our series on wealth creation, I discuss how to build leverage, how to choose something where you have maximum leverage, and why we are in a golden era of product leverage. As always, credits to Naval Ravikant and Rob Moore for their ideas on this subject. To recap, I started with the SLAP formula for wealth creation. We are currently discussing the second component in this formula called leverage. Last episode, I introduced the three most common forms of leverage from a wealth creation perspective: labor, capital, and product. We said that while labor and capital are permission based leverage types, product is the new kid on the block and it's a permission less leverage. You don't need anyone's permission to build a product. You do need a permission for accessing labor and capital though. The three major types of product leverage are code, media, and publications. We talked about some examples where people created huge impact without using traditional forms of leverage, i.e., labor and capital. Product leverage has been the biggest game changer in the last 2 decades and will continue to rule in the next 2 decades as well. After the last episode, I got feedback from one viewer who said, leverage is considered harmful by the likes of Warren Buffett. Why are you paying so much attention to this component of wealth creation? I totally agree with Buffett's philosophy. The only difference is that while he is talking about financial leverage, I am referring to product leverage. Leverage in the world of finance and investing refers to borrowing capital to invest. This is considered risky because it can lead to meltdowns, as we have seen during subprime crisis in 2007. This is because leverage is considered equivalent to risk. High leverage brings potential of high upside as well as high downside. This is primarily because capital is permission based. You're accessing other people's resources and capital and taking risks on that. Product as a leverage is powerful because while there is a potential for a huge upside, the downside is really limited because it is permissionless. You didn't ask for anyone's permission or risk anyone's capital to build your own product. Your downside is probably your own effort and time. Now, it's always a great deal when you have situations where if you win big, and if you lose small. So, product is that kind of leverage which allows you to win big, but at the same time cuts the downside risk. So, thanks for your comments, and I really appreciate those. Now, let's get to the next subject. How do we build product leverage? There are two things that we should do broadly. First, step 1 is to use the PILE framework that I introduced in episode 3. The link is attached in the description below. PILE framework allows you to accumulate specific knowledge that is necessary for building a product. PILE is to persist, iterate, learn, and eliminate, and narrow down on building a product that actually works. Step 2. Once you know that your product works, focus on multiplying the product by creating as many copies as you can and as fast as you can. This step 2 in business terms is called selling. Selling is the stage when the power of product leverage is unleashed. So it's basically 2 steps: build and sell. If you know how to do both, you will be unstoppable over the next 2 decades. Now let's plot difficulty to replicate on the x-axis and difficulty to build on the y-axis. As you move to the right, it gets tougher to create copies of a product. And as you move to the top, it gets tougher to build a product. Top left quadrant is one where the product is difficult to build but easy to replicate. The maximum impact of product leverage is in this quadrant, i.e., a product that is difficult to build but super easy to make copies of. Remember, leverage always comes with ease of replication. Anything that is difficult to replicate has very little leverage potential and hence not a great wealth creator. Similarly, anything that is easy to build has very little specific knowledge and hence will not be valued by society in the long term. So, key takeaway here is focus your energies on a product that is difficult to build but simple to replicate. Here are some examples of what you should not do for product leverage. On the build side, 1. Don't work on extremely short-term fixes with the hope of making quick money. Leverage takes time to build and very rarely does it work in the short term. For example, a reseller of electronic goods on Amazon platform might find it very easy to set up his business in the short term, but in the long term, he will find it very difficult to gain leverage. 2. If the society can postpone value, it will. Now build a business that provides a haircut, not a head massage. People need a haircut regularly but can live without a head massage. Building good to have products means that leverage takes more time, effort, and money to build. Third, copying someone without having deep product insights hurts leverage. Replicas usually don't go through the same iterative life cycle as the original product. And without a distinct value proposition, they suffer a negative leverage effect because they are constantly benchmarked against the original. On the replication side, anything that depends on human skill, motivation, or values is difficult to replicate. We human beings are all wired differently. It's very difficult to make people comply with rules at scale. For example, hospitals cannot replicate good doctors, restaurants cannot replicate good chefs, and so on. Second, anything that involves government permissions or regulatory compliance is difficult to replicate. Governments move slowly, have inconsistent rules, and the laws are subject to sudden changes. Bitcoin and marijuana suffered major shocks due to government flip-flops. Third, anything that has complex servicing or expensive lifecycle management will slow down replication and hence will reduce the power of leverage. So, a quick checklist to figure out if leverage can work for the product that you are building. Assign 1 point if it's a yes and 0 if it's a no. Does your product have a large potential user base? Is it a good to have or a must have for users? Is it easy to ship to customers? Is it dependent on geography or local culture? Is it easy to use for a customer with zero training? Is it easy and inexpensive to service a user issue? Does it depend on government guidelines or regulatory compliances? Sum up all the points. If your total points are greater than 5, congratulations, you have a powerful leverage effect that you can exploit. If the points are between 3 to 5, you have okayish leverage at play, and if it is less than 3, you probably don't have much leverage at play. That takes us to the next point. We are currently living in a golden age of leverage that presents us with tons of opportunities that our earlier generation could not even dream of. Here are a list of few examples. Now ask your father or uncle if they ever used computers in college. Most would say no, but a few would say yes, and those people would recall the days when they had to schedule an appointment few days in advance just to access basic computing power. Compare that to where we are today. Any 20-year-old can deploy his or her code on an AWS or a Google or a Microsoft cloud free of cost and have bots running that code relentlessly 24/7, 365 days a year. Now, I learned in my MBA that retail is only about 3 things: location, location, and location. Location matters the most, and hence famous retailers always competed for the most expensive commercial real estate in any city. Compare that to today, where any homemaker can become a merchant on an Amazon or a Shopify or an Etsy and run a store where inventory, logistics, and delivery are all virtual. 20 years back, the only way to advertise your product or services was by running a print or TV ad campaign. Cut to today, and you have discovery platforms for people working from even the most remote places. Instagram, Freelancer, Gumroad are providing opportunities to people living in India, Bangladesh, Philippines to market their skills for a better price and at a lower cost. Now, I grew up watching Jeremy Clarkson on BBC reviewing different cars on his show Top Gear. In those days, Clarkson was an authority on cars, and all car manufacturers were vying for his approval. Today, you have hundreds of car enthusiasts who are successful YouTubers. They're able to review cars and reach millions of people without spending any money. YouTube is probably the most powerful information distribution tool available for mankind today. Apart from these, there are so many tools that are waiting to be used as product leverage. There's LinkedIn and Clubhouse to build a professional network. There's Medium and Substack to share insightful articles. There's MailChimp to create and share regular newsletters. There's Udemy, Udacity, and a host of learning platforms online. There's Apple and Google Podcasts to voice out opinions. There's Betterment and Wealthfront for robo-advisory on investments. The product leverage possibilities created by internet and mobile technologies are endless. To all my viewers, now is the time to build something. Now is the time to leverage the potential of product and create something great. So to summarize, product is the newest and the most powerful form of permissionless leverage. Building product leverage has two steps: build and sell. If you can do both, you will be unstoppable. Leverage works best for products that are difficult to build but easy to replicate. And internet creates endless possibilities for product leverage in the 21st century. Thanks for watching. For weekly videos, you can subscribe to my channel or to my newsletter on sushantreddy.com. Until next time, goodbye and stay safe.